Many thanks for joining us on the afternoon edition. My name is Joy Asonye. Here we go beyond the headlines to discuss trending topical issues that affect you. Well, the afternoon edition runs every 2 p.m. from Tuesdays to Fridays every week. Well, coming up on today's trending political segment, we'll be talking about the World Malaria Day that was celebrated yesterday, where Nigeria is awaiting vaccines. We are also going to discuss Wike's 200 million donation to an IDP camp in Kaduna. We have many more to discuss after this short break. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
We are a nation blessed with people of diverse cultures, religions, languages, and opinions. It is ironic that we are now being ripped apart by our greatest strength, our diversity. We have allowed intolerance, insensitivity, bigotry, and nepotism to blind our vision of the greatness we can achieve working together as one. We may not have the same culture, nor religion, nor language, but we all belong to the same nation by the divine will of God. We did not choose to be Nigerians. Nigeria chose us. This nation is our divine heritage, and if we open our eyes, we would realize that what divides us pales in comparison to what unites us. And by the comparison and conciliation of our differences, we will grow until our differences disappear. Our unity cannot be willed by mere declarations, nor do we get unity by ignoring the questions that beg for answers. We must celebrate our diversity and debate our differences without fracturing our unity. Our strength is not in our numbers, but in our unity, because even the weak become strong when united. Nigeria unite. This message is brought to you by Abuja Broadcasting Corporation, owners and operators of ASO Radio 93.5 FM Abuja, ASO Television Star Times Channel 127, Free TV Channel 507, and UHF Channel.
This is the afternoon edition where we are going to discuss political stories. Joining us to discuss the trending political stories making headlines is Comrade Duke Alamboye, a regular analyst here on the show. Comrade Duke is the National Secretary, Nigeria Youth Organization. Thank you so much for joining us again.
Thank you very much, Joy. Having me.
Yes, thank you very much. The World Malaria Day. Nigeria awaits vaccines. That is, Nigeria has joined the rest of the world to celebrate this day, marking the 2022 World Malaria Day. Health experts and government officials are celebrating this day. Most of all, the approval by the World Health Organization to have the vaccine. At last, the world now has a vaccine. We're not sure how the distribution will go moving forward, but it's exciting to know there's a vaccine out there. How does that make you feel?
We thank the WHO for that initiative and the relevant organizations that have put that day ahead of time, because malaria in time past have been a dreadful disease, distant ailment, and the awareness is what we still need to create in our country. You know, when they celebrate these malaria days, day and them, it does not go down to the rural areas. It's disturbing. I see most of the celebrations done at the urban centers and all of that. These things should filter down. Sensitization, that day in Nigeria, I think, should be dedicated to rural sensitization, because malaria effects actually begins from unsettled areas, and this is where I think this advocacy and the celebrations should go to. We want to thank relevant agencies that have been, advocating the malaria in our country. And in addition to that, I want to also see where Nigerians should take their medication serious. You know, we are in a country where so many persons do not believe, including myself. When you have prescriptions from doctors and then within few days you're getting better, you dump the description, what they call
yes, and you see the
subscription,
mutilation
you
of
think,
that
drugs, and you think that all is well. They have their effects, and I think there should be real dedication to, when you fall ill, run tests. Then after the test, make sure you abide by the dosages of various drugs, mostly at this concern malaria. I think it's a good thing that we are going to have a new vaccine that will treat malaria, and I think the world is really putting their best in
yes,
that
with 2022 data saying that an estimated 241 million new cases of malaria was discovered and 627,000 deaths. It means something is not right.
Yeah, what is not right here is, I think, environmental upgrade. You know, our environments need to be kept clean. Those things that brings about malarial mosquito increase should be, looked at, and I think that will reduce
our hygiene and sanitation.
Sanitation within.
We are in the tropics. We're in the tropics. I'm not sure. A lot of people have also shown concern. Can we necessarily eradicate completely malaria?
No, the advocacy for malaria has been in years. So I think the only thing is that we are not improving on our stance on fighting malaria. That is it. We're just the belief in Nigeria is that however you get malaria, you have tablets for it.
Exactly.
But stopping the occurrence of having malaria is what we've not really.
Before we move away from this topic, Nigerians are still struggling to accept the COVID-19 vaccine. There's a lot of mistrust and conspiracy around that vaccine. Would you say that when the malaria vaccine gets to Nigeria, we would see a better reception for
time
it?
is coming. Even this COVID-19 vaccine you're talking about, time is coming that it will be generally accepted. It's because of the imbalance in data and in acceptance that is making it feel good.
Malaria has really plagued Africa.
If we go back line of history, we also know that there was a time the vaccine for malaria was not generally accepted until they got a very generally accepted vaccine for it. Before it was really...
You mean the drug? Because it's the first of its kind, the malaria vaccine.
I think malaria, I'm talking about drugs.
Right.
The drugs. So it is now going into a vaccine. So the time and the acceptance level will keep increasing as people see the effect of those vaccines.
Okay. There's also the case where there's data that many times when health experts, NGOs, humanitarian services distribute mosquito nets, people sell these mosquito nets. And does it mean that we are not aware of the dangers and how badly malaria has plagued the nation? I mean, if you sell back...
If you give a man that does not know the value of what you're giving, these are the things that happens.
Right.
While I was growing, we do not see... the mosquito net, we feel, is just for the rich people. When you go to rich homes, that's when you see this mosquito nets on their bed positions and all of that. But as we kept growing, as we grew up, we came to understand that no, it's actually for a purpose. So the orientation, the awareness you create on the usefulness of those what you call mosquito nets is what's going to make people know that actually it's not something that we should sell. It's useful to the family at large, understand? And everybody wants to say, we have to keep it at a safe place, other than commercializing it, selling it out. Everybody needs it, but most families do not even know the importance of that mosquito net. And then even to the rich people, they will tell you that their areas are fumigated, they don't need it and all of that. But I think to a larger extent, they still fall prey to all of this in assumption that their environments are very clean for.
Okay, so mixed reactions continue to trail Governor Nyesom Wike's donation of 200 million naira to an internally displaced persons area in Kaduna State. Well, a lot of people have fingered it to his 2023 political ambition, while others say he's just being very generous and it shows his humanitarian side. Where do you stand in this?
Well, in my own opinion, there are two ways to it. If you say humanitarian, where has the River State governor worked before? What are his antecedents to humanitarian grounds or philanthropism? He has none. And it's painful. You see, I'm trying to even follow what has happened to Obiano, the governor that just left, that the FCC arraigned.
Yes.
We want to see what Obiano, yes, exactly. We want to see what is happening to his case, because I think these governors, the immunity they have is really telling on them and is making things look somehow in their eyes. Rivers people are there suffering, and then their governor is busy dishing out monies to other states where they have governors. A word of condolence and encouragement is enough, but a whooping sum of 200 billion. This is not the first time. He has done that to the Benue State governor, and politically now the Benue State governor tilts to him. So I think it's more of...
A lot of people have also said that the dilapidating state of our internally displaced persons camps are so bad.
There are more to do. There are more to do. Not a state as Kaduna. You can't say that to discredit the Kaduna State governor, who is more sensitive and one of the most proactive governors in the country. You can't say that.
But you can't also say that it's not overwhelming for the governor.
It is, because it is not, because El-Rufai is up to his game. If a governor wants to help the camp, as per se, in his judicial sense of it, donating 200 million naira to that camp is wasteful. What they need is material. What they need is structural improvement in the camps, not money.
I'm sure
when you dish out 200 million, no.
That was what the money is for.
When you dish money
is not going to be thrown away.
I and you are in this country. We know that when money is given for a project, nothing stops the governors if you want to go to humanitarian. Nothing stops you to build beds, to buy beds, foams, materials that are physically needed in the camp. Provision of foods.
If he did
when
that
you give money,
200 million, would you feel
that would have been fine?
Right.
That would have been fine. Other than dishing out monies and nobody
knows
knows where this money goes.
You will also feel that he has abandoned the Rivers people that you just allegedly said.
That is why I said it's in two ways. On the humanitarian ground, if you want to even do that, it's wrong to even give fiscal cash at that level. Then the other way around again, this is a governor that is the state. Just go to Port Harcourt, go to River State and see how people are suffering. The unpaid salaries, the NLC is almost every day getting mad. River State, NLC River State, it's almost getting mad at every day because of unpaid salaries, unpaid gratuities and all of that. Standard of education is low. You're dishing out 200 billion, university schools are down. What happens to if you pledge that to ASU of River State to make them come back to work? There's a lot to do with money in River State, and giving such money out at this political era, of course, everybody will see it as a political inducement to gaining favor from the North once again.
I would have thought on this platform today you would have been excited. Your governor is doing what a lot of governors do not do, going to other states.
No. I won't personally. I will subscribe to that. There is a lot to do in the state. There's a lot you can do with 200 billion naira in River State and get that popular publicity he really wants to acquire.
Would that be national approach?
Of course, one of the things that makes him strong, that makes it, is what he's doing in River State, according to him. So he should do more in River State and get more popularity if that is the case.
Well, moving on and talking about the universities that are still on strike, the Education Writers Association of Nigeria staged a peaceful protest to demand the reopening of public universities. I picked this story because a lot of times we don't see what we journalists can do in pushing or advocating for a cause. Often we report what happens. We don't do anything to effect change in any sector you're reporting. But we are seeing education writers coming together to urge government. Now, where do you think journalists, when we see moving forward flaws in government policies, we can stamp our feet?
What I see in Nigerian journalism is more of reports. I've not seen that zeal to start taking a firm decision in their own perspective. What Nigerian journalists do most often is reporting a case, and a case, a predominant case like the ASU strike in our country. This should be resounding in every station every day. Radio, television stations, the main media stream should take it as a responsibility to be talking about it every day. If not talking about it, sparing 1 minute to say federal government and ASU should come compromise
Let me get
and
something
let the
right.
schools
There's
resume.
a difference here. There's a difference.
All they do is when the ASU want to do a protest or say something about their strike, they go and report it.
Yes.
When federal government want to say, where is the bridge? That is why I want to appreciate what the journalists here, the writers are doing, trying to put up their own firm stand on these issues and making sure that ASU comes back to work. So it's quite interesting, and it will be more interesting when media houses dedicate time to discuss national issues and take
like it's often
stands.
done. But what impact do you often see? I mean, when journalists bring to fore certain topics to make it topical, like the Chibok girls, you can see that several news agencies make it a point of duty to ensure that on their scroll news it is constantly in the news.
That is the kind we are talking about.
We bring up issues around those topical matters. However, how impactful is it?
It has been so impactful. In fact, that one of those publications, like I like the example you took of the Chibok girls issues. That is what made that menace of that time popular. It made it so popular that people began to put interest in it. Organizations began to look at what should be done. Security agencies began to look at what is done. The same way, if this ASU strike issues is being taken so seriously, relevant agencies will begin to look at how these stations are always talking about these things. What do we do? And then solutions to that grounds will be faster than as it is now.
Okay, so finally, news emerged and a viral video was all over the internet a couple of hours ago about a policeman that shot two party attendees death. I mean, he according to the alleged report, he was drunk or had some substances. So, and this is becoming prevalent. We see policemen. There was one video, a picture that went viral a couple of weeks ago about a policeman absorbing in her Indian hem, which is, it's wrong. And these are policemen that should enforce the
law.
or just charge the advocacy against it. So we have seen that 2 young men lost their lives because a policeman was intoxicated. The policeman at the moment is at large. But what does it tell?
The first question that comes to my mind is, what I thought they said police. What is that policeman doing at that point?
That event.
I
don't think. Do you think it's particularly wrong to call a policeman for security?
If that is the case, if that's good, it has not been reported like that. So I'm telling you that what bears my mind now is, I should say this, or when I saw that publication, is what would he be doing in that at that place, that party at that time, with his guns? Number 2, I thought they are trained. Can a policeman handle his gadgets or his arms and drink? What actually excited the policeman to the extent that he has to shoot in a political in a birthday party? There was no argument, or there was no fight that maybe he wants to use the gunshot to disperse. I heard it was for a way of celebrating what is happening there. So these are the issues.
But how can the police force ensure that their men, when they go out, especially among civilians, would leave or stay away from?
They have trainings. I can't discredit the police, the integrity of the police, because of this singular act. I know that they have such training, and the policeman
this is not the first accidental.
That's what I'm saying. It's an individual mischief or misdoing, because no policeman is trained to go to a gathering of civilians and shoot his shots. I think it's a discretion.
There's a code of conduct.
Yes, but they guide them, and he knows that he's going to face the law for what he has done. So I think I condemn it, and they should guide where they send their men to and at what time and what should be given to them at a different level. I don't even believe that a policeman that is supposed to guide a party is supposed to be even inside the hall. So you see, there's a lot of misunderstanding in the line of
Comrade Duke Alambwe, thank you so much for your insights this afternoon. Well, we'll go on a short break. When we return, we'll be talking to Tola Jacobs, the president, Lions Club, Wuse Abuja, and her team. They will be talking about the prevalence of childhood cancer and why the Lions Club is so concerned about that. We'll be right back. Stay with us.
Sir, can you please give us the permission to search you? You can go.
Is this a movie? If it happened.
Officer, I beg carry and go station. When our Oga come, you come meet am for there.
Hey, Mr. Man, I cannot do that.
Tell your guy to come to our station when he returns.
Am I in a movie? If it happen,
Mama, please. Mama, please.
Thank God you're here. Do the needful.
Mama, please, just 3 weeks now.
Madam, why did you invite us to come help chase your tenant now?
This is a civil matter now.
Is this a movie? If it happen,
If we follow
The new police law.
We are a nation blessed with people of diverse cultures, religions, languages, and opinions. It is ironic that we are now being ripped apart by our greatest strength, our diversity. We have allowed intolerance, insensitivity, bigotry, and nepotism to blind our vision of the greatness we can achieve working together as one. We may not have the same culture, nor religion, nor language, but we all belong to the same nation by the divine will of God. We did not choose to be Nigerians. Nigeria chose us. This nation is our divine heritage, and if we open our eyes, we will realize that what divides us pales in comparison to what unites us. And by the comparison and conciliation of our differences, we will grow until our differences disappear. Our unity cannot be willed by mere declarations, nor do we get unity by ignoring the questions that beg for answers. We must celebrate our diversity and debate our differences without fracturing our unity. Our strength is not in our numbers, but in our unity, because even the weak become strong when united. Nigeria unite. This message is brought to you by Abuja Broadcasting Corporation, owners and operators of ASO Radio 93.5 FM Abuja, ASO Television Star Times Channel 127, Free TV Channel 507, and UHF Channel 38.
Thanks for staying with us. We are still on the afternoon edition where we are discussing at this moment the prevalence of childhood cancer. What's causing it? How can lifestyle changes help? According to reports, yearly 400,000 children are diagnosed of cancer, different types of cancer. And the Lions Club, Wuse Abuja, is doing something about that. Let's get to hear all about their initiatives and advocacy and what they'll be doing to ensure this trend does not continue. Joining me right now is Lion Tola Jacobs, the president, Lion Wuse Abuja Lions Club. Thank you so much for joining us.
You're welcome.
I also have Lion Obianuju Nwokolo. Thank you for joining us. Why childhood cancer? Why is that such a passion for you?
Well, Lions Club is a very big organization. They are into humanitarian causes. So, just diabetes, just like the way we take care of diabetes, take care of youth empowerment, vision, and pediatric cancer, and feeding the hungry. That is exactly what we saw, and we like, let's take care of this pediatric cancer out of all of them. That is what we're coming out to say this particular month, because in Lions Club we like have months that we take care of many of our key projects. So this particular month we're talking about pediatric cancer, and we're trying to raise awareness on pediatric cancer so that parents can know what they should see in their kids and the symptoms and things they would really observe immediately. They start saying it, they should know what to do, or they should just give a shout out to their doctor.
Okay, so Lion Obianuju, how far has the Lion Club gone when it comes to awareness against the pediatric cancer? Okay, so far have you done demonstrations, have you done walks, or how do you do your advocacy?
Yes, we will go on a campaign educating people. We do visit the hospitals.
Okay.
Like Gwarimpa General Hospital is one of our
the places
we visited. Yes, we even have a building there donated by the Wuse Abuja Lions Club on this.
Okay. Okay, I'll come back to you, Lion Jacob. You know, when I call Lion, it takes me aback a little. So, when you go out there to do this advocacy, do you reach out to victims or parents, or who are your target set of people to reach?
We actually go out to visit hospitals. At times we go to the ward, we see the kids. It's like a very emotional project that we partake most of the time. You see kids that are there, you see so many discomforting things that you'll not be so comfortable with. At times it might be on the eye, it might be on the part of the body, and you will just wonder why they have to go through this. But sincerely, we all know that there's no solution to it, there's no cure, but at the same time, let's give them the touch of that love that they need, so that they will know that somebody somewhere cares. We go to hospitals, we go to schools to give them awareness, and we go to public places, we raise awareness, we talk to schools, so that they will have an idea of whatever is going on with the kids and be able to tell the parents, this is what we have observed. Kindly take this kid to the hospital.
I stumbled on a report that said that 90% of those diagnoses can be retreated or cured if it's only found early. I mean, we will discuss later with the good doctor with us what parents should look out for. But when you go to schools, what do you tell those teachers?
Most of the time where we get to schools, we talk to them about the way they can observe things that must have changed in the kids. Sometimes even when they play in the classroom, they can actually incidentally or intentionally or out of children's play. Maybe choke somebody with pencil on the eye or any part of the body. And if not properly taken care of, it can actually become something else and it become cancerous. So we tell them to take care and manage them so that they won't have cause to get injured in a very terrible way that it will not even be obvious to the parents. And at the end of the day, it can come out to be like that. Yes, it is possible for you to treat cancer at the early stage. If they get to know about it, they can actually try as much as possible to treat it and before it spreads around.
Okay. So Bianuju, Lion Bianuju, apologies. I need to learn how to include that each time I refer to you. Now, you said a facility has been donated. Would you say that a lot of people are beginning to understand? There's an awareness around that sector now. People are beginning to understand what it is, and they are coming forward when they have the slightest discomfort.
Yes. On our awareness so far, people are coming up. We visit hospitals and educate parents on that.
Okay. We'll go on a very short break now. When we return, a very good doctor would talk to us more about childhood cancer or pediatric cancer. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
We are a nation blessed with people of diverse cultures, religions, languages, and opinions. It is ironic that we are now being ripped apart by our greatest strength, our diversity. We have allowed intolerance, insensitivity, bigotry, and nepotism to blind our vision of the greatness we can achieve working together as one. We may not have the same culture, nor religion, nor language, but we all belong to the same nation by the divine will of God. We did not choose to be Nigerians. Nigeria chose us. This nation is our divine heritage, and if we open our eyes, we would realize that what divides us pales in comparison to what unites us. And by the comparison and conciliation of our differences, we will grow until our differences disappear. Our unity cannot be wielded by mere declarations, nor do we get unity by ignoring the questions that beg for answers. We must celebrate our diversity and debate our differences without fracturing our unity. Our strength is not in our numbers, but in our unity, because even the weak become strong when united. Nigeria unite. This message is brought to you by Abuja Broadcasting Corporation, owners and operators of ASO Radio 93.5 FM Abuja, ASO Television Star Times Channel 127, Free TV Channel 507, and UHF Channel 38.
Welcome back. We are being joined now by Dr. Alex Nadozie. He's not a lion, he has made that clear. He is from the Gwarimpa General Hospital. I'm sure he's collaborating with the Lions Club. How does it feel like to work with lions and lionesses?
I'm always delighted to work with the Lions because I've seen practically what they can do. Like they said earlier, they donated a facility, a building to our hospital, and we're all benefiting from it. It's awesome to see them do all these for children, for adults, diabetes and mellitus. So I'm really proud of the Lions Club. If I can roar, maybe I'll become a lion.
But quickly, what should parents look out for? I mean, are there lifestyle changes, or what should you look out for when you have children to prevent this?
Okay, let me start this way. I've actually seen parents distressed by cancer in one of their children. I saw a patient one day. We had to investigate to be able to come up with what is wrong with this child. And eventually we discovered it's one of the common pediatric cancers, which we call rhabdomyoblastoma. Okay, so we were worried, and in discussing with the family, we discovered that diagnosis had been given to them in another hospital already before coming. Wow. They kept everything aside because they wanted to hear something new, wanted a miracle or something. It was so distressing, and we all got attached to this girl until she passed. It was so distressing, and you don't want to see parents go through that. But the unfortunate thing is, it's not like malaria that is transmitted by mosquito. Or typhoid fever you get from, eating food that is contaminated with a bacteria. In this case, most of the causes are unknown when it comes to cancer. There are some factors that are genetic, which now those ones, but still cannot do much about it. And there are those that we can influenced by ourselves, like the mother attending antenatal on time, taking the drugs, they ask them to take during antenatal services, the folic acid, very, very important because it helps with the tube, the development of the baby in the womb, the right development of the baby in the womb. Some of these drugs are very important. Avoiding alcohol when you're pregnant with the baby, avoiding so many toxins, all this processed food, canned food here and there that may have toxins in them, just to give your baby a better chance so that if other factors are not there, don't introduce a factor by yourself. So prevent this thing. And then when you start seeing changes in your babies or your children, start seeing some symptoms, avoid all these, let's go to chemist, let's go to chemist, let's go to chemist all the time. Because some of these things will present and mimic and look like your normal malaria. Okay? It's okay to go buy malaria drug like you advised if symptoms persist after a day or two. See your doctor. Some people will move from, this chemist man is not good. After 2 days, they go to the other one. This one is not good. After another day, they go to the other one. Before you know it, they go to native doctor without seeing the doctor first.
And running proper tests.
Yeah. Or you see the doctor gives you some meds. After 2 days, you don't feel it's okay. You need to go back to the same doctor so that the doctor can, it's not this. What could it be? Then they move to another person who starts afresh. And you see, before we make such diagnosis in this part of the world, most of the time it is too late. We don't have the health insurance, the health coverage that allows people to do screening upon screening to find out things when they are early, when they can be treated, when they can be eradicated. So most of the time when we make this diagnosis, it is too late.
Wow. So, Lion Jacobs, let's talk about this advocacy. When you get to do them, are you trained in some way? Because I know you are not a doctor. So are you trained in some way to know how to speak to these patients and give them hope like you have been doing?
Actually trained, thank you. It's just the passion you have. Once you're a lion, you have that passion to serve.
I see.
So when you see, even not knowing the person, knowing anything about the person, once you're a lion, you just have that passion to serve.
Wow.
So as a lion, you have the passion to serve. When they call your attention to that, you are there to educate them. You go and learn one or two things that might be the cause and the symptoms of this or that.
So when you see this child in that much pain, it must be excruciating for you as a woman, as a mother, look at a child go through all of this. What do you do? I know you just mentioned being a lion helps you, but how do you ensure that you live comfort?
Well, we try as much as possible. Anytime we're going, we go with few things, like toiletries, like maybe diapers, so many things, body lotion, body cream, so many things that might be needed in the hospital. And we go there, at times we support them with money, because at times most parents run out of money. It's not something they just pay off and they leave the hospital. Most of the time they spend a lot of time in their hospital bed. So we go there, we give them some stuff, so emotional, but you just have to get going. There was a particular time we went to, General Hospital. The baby just held on to me.
Oh no.
I was like, I gave the mother was happy, but the baby was still holding on to me. I had to carry her and started moving out.
Wow.
So it's so emotional, but
and yet rewarding. I'm sure you feel that sense.
Yes. That you're able to at least give the baby some love before leaving.
Okay. Dr. Nadozie, I apologize if I'm not pronouncing it as...
Right.
Okay, thank you. Now, what government policies, targeted government policies, would you advocate for to ensure that there's some sort of relief for these parents? You just mentioned the deficit in health insurance, but what else can the government do?
Okay, in 2019, the Nigerian Medical Association had the second National Health Summit, and it was centered on universal health coverage. Now, if this can happen, this universal health coverage, where everyone everywhere is captured, so that, and then this capturing is not the type that you will be paying some money into health insurance monthly through your salary for years without needing it. You want to buy a malaria drug, you just go to the pharmacy near your house, you just buy, you don't mind your health insurance. Eventually, one day, somebody needs it in your family, and then you go for it, and they tell you, this one is not covered. And you've been contributing for 5-10 years, and never used it.
Exactly.
And one day you come to use it for something, maybe an antibiotic, and they tell you this one is not covered. Not that type of health coverage. If we can work on it, and I would advocate for a health insurance summit, if you like, to bring people together to say how they want this health insurance to run, to explain to them what it means to have health insurance, so that even that market woman over there would know how to contribute all the time. And then one final thing about how we go about cancers, for children especially. Have you been on the street, on the road, and see some people with children with big jaw like this, and they'll sew uniform, and they'll be following the child on the street, you know? I just want to mention it on this platform, that this is so wrong. This is one of the, what we call non-Hodgkin's lymphoma, Burkitt's lymphoma, and it is very treatable. And you see people, every year you are seeing them, and you're seeing the mass growing until when you don't see them again, just know that the child is probably gone. Just take this child to the hospital, and if their numbers can be available in places where hospitals can call, we have this child, can you intervene? You see that there are so many people that are willing to intervene with health matters, but just don't know how to go about it, and can't stop on the road and see these people and start quarreling with them. If you quarrel with them, you don't know what can happen. This is the way the country has been. So I want to advise, this is not the right way to go about it, and government should step in. When you see people on the street like that, they are not using those children well, should do something about it.
Okay, let me come back to the Lions Club. You had mentioned other ailments that you charging to do your bid in. What really informs your choice of where to go? I mean, in cases of advocacy or intervention, what informs that choice?
Actually, it is just part of Lions Club projects, because when Lions Club was established in 1917 by Melvin Jones, they have always been the Knights of the Blind, because they actually took being blind a very serious case. That is why we do cataract surgeries and others in Lions Club too. So part of the things that we decided to go into is vision and concerning the blind, and we talked about diabetes. This is the kind of diseases that people don't even know they have it. Most of the time they take it for granted. And youth empowerment, we just introduced that too, so that we'll be able to assist the youth.
Okay, so you get dynamic as contemporary issues come up.
We look at it and incorporate it.
Okay, doctor. Now, 400,000 children yearly get diagnosed of cancer. What would you say Nigeria is doing wrong? We're seeing a prevalence that is shocking in Nigeria. We used to pride ourselves of not having cancer. Cancer is usually the white man's disease. What are we doing wrong?
It's not that high for Nigeria. 400,000 actually a global figure.
Global figure,
yes.
Yes.
It's a global figure.
And but we're seeing prevalence in Nigeria.
Yes. And particularly, would you say we're doing anything wrong? Most of the time it is a case of there is more awareness.
Right.
Back in the day when there was no hospital, no screening, people can have all those things.
And it's your village people.
They will tell me it's one thing. But now there is more education. People go to the hospital more, so diagnosis is increasing. So we tend to feel as if this thing is increasing. It could also be increasing slightly because there is what we call the double burden of disease. We used to have our normal tropical diseases, and now we are living Western lifestyle in the tropics. So we have our tropical diseases and we have Western diseases imported. Wow. So we have the double burden of diseases, of which if we can check our living generally, some of these things may reduce.
Okay. So we're running out of time. So if there's anything you would want to tell parents whose children are also facing this, what would it be?
Well, all I can say concerning that is give them much love. Know that you are not the cause, and wish them well. Show them love.
Okay, doctor, your turn.
Okay, yeah, for the parents, it's really an emotional journey, and sometimes it doesn't end fast. It drags them a lot, empties their pockets, renders them in a very bad state. So, but I want to encourage them, and I want all the people that can support, from health workers to family to friends to Lions Club and clubs like them, to whenever you see people going through this, please give them the maximum support, because it is difficult.
Okay. Thank you so much for joining us. This was wonderful getting to learn more about pediatric cancer. Thank you, Dr. Alex Nadozie. Again, you should join the Lions Club and become a lion. Thank you so much for this edition. We've been discussing so much around the political space and pediatric cancer. My name is Joy Asonye. Until tomorrow, have a wonderful day.